We're watching every Adam Sandler film to see if they still hold up. This week, we watched Grown Ups 2.
Grown Ups 2 is a sequel to Happy Madison's most successful movie yet. It stars all of the usual suspects minus Rob Schneider. What's the plot of the movie, you ask? We're asking the same question. This movie is just Grown Ups 1, but worse and without a storyline. But is this truly one of the worst movies ever produced, or were critics and audiences far too harsh on it?
I think you know our answer. We play a game of Adam Sandler themed bingo around here using all the tropes of an Adam Sandler film. Up on screen are our bingo cards. Joel, I have to interrupt you this week already, my friend, by saying I blacked out my card, baby! I'm talking funny animal moment. I'm talking Sandler Screams. I'm talking Sandler wears shorts. I'm talking outdated words.
Greg is fugly.
I'm talking about joke with someone's gender. I'm talking about fart jokes. I'm talking projectile vomit. I'm talking joke at the expense of a short person. And they weren't even all the bingos that I noted down. Joe, dare I ask how you went this week, my friend?
Oh, bro, I had boobs, Eric Lamonsoff, product placement, ones I didn't have, fat shaming.
Beanbag with arms and legs? Seriously, take a seat.
All the cameos, Jackie Sandler, Nick Swardson, Busca, the most bingo squares I've ever seen in my life, and I'm so sad that I missed out on blacking it out, because this would be the one to do it too.
I blacked out my card within 50 minutes of this movie. Before we get into the review, we do want to give a heartfelt rest in peace to Cameron Boyce. Very much gone too soon, and plays a very sweet part in this movie.
Yeah, dare I say one of the best parts of this movie.
Yeah. Now let's shit on Grown Ups 2.
Right off the bat, we go straight to Sandler's house. He's now moved to his hometown. His whole family's sleeping, having a nice time. And I wake up and there's a moose.
And the moose pisses on Sandler's face.
Classic trailer moment, secured, marketing taken care of.
And when you compare it to what was so beautiful and relatable in Grown Ups 1, where the kid gets in the car to try and navigate to the coach that had passed away, and it's really sad, and you see Adam Sandler so hurt, and it's so relatable. The kids are on the Xbox, they won't get off it, to this shit.
Absolutely jumped the shark. We check in with every character from the last one, and it's just the stalest opening to a movie I've ever seen. No one is doing anything interesting.
No.
Everything is just trying to make a funny bit, but there's no thematic pull like the first Grown Ups had. The first Grown Ups, where they're all losing touch with their kids and they want to do something to try and connect with them again. All of that is lost.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing.
How you doing, Nick? My wife's leaving me. She found me eating a banana with my butt.
And there's no plot established in this film, realistically ever. If you want to include when we meet the frat boys later on, which we'll get to, sure, make that a plot, but it's not.
The only thing that's really set up is after they hijack Nick Swardson's bus, Chris Rock says to Sandler, "We gotta have a party again."
Last party I had was senior year in high school.
That was like the best night of my life. We all hooked up with chicks.
And that is the one thing that just sets up the party at the end of the movie.
So due to having no plot at all in this movie, this might be a shorter review. Let's go talk about the bits.
The bits were surprisingly mostly safe. Oh, except John Lovitz's creepy yoga teacher, perv character that just popped up.
And bend over as low as you can go. But take the right hand and slap it against the right cheek.
John Lovitz is always typecast as the creep, but then if we want to talk about this yoga moment, we pretty much get a recycled bit from the last movie where the women are ogling the sexy lifeguard. They just do the exact same thing but worse and a bit more creepy.
Can I stick my tongue down your throat, please?
All right, guys.
And then they jump the shark with John Lovitz getting bitten by Maya Rudolph's kid. It's just the same bits as last movie, and we get this over and over. It's the same bits as Grown Ups 1, but worse.
Yeah, it's really as if they wanted to capitalize on the huge success of Grown Ups and just quickly turn around another one. And I'm starting to believe the claims that Adam Sandler just launders money for his friends. Just being like, let's go make a movie. I'll give you $50 million. It's all good. Because it really is just them hanging out.
Yeah, and we waste so much time in this movie of them just hanging out, going to Kmart, and it's filled with really average slapstick bits, mostly at the expense of Nick Swardson.
Yeah.
They're cringy. It doesn't advance the plot whatsoever.
What plot, bro?
You're right. Something plot-wise that we could probably talk about is the fact that David Spade now has a kid. It's the guy from Hunger Games.
Yeah. So now he's got to actually make effort as a father. So David Spade gets a Grown Ups 1 arc, I guess.
Yeah, but the kid just sucks. The character's underwritten, and there's actually a really sad part where David Spade doesn't show up for his kid. The kid gets arrested and the kid's crying in the cop car. Yeah. And if it wasn't surrounded by the goofs of this movie, it'd be really sad that David Spade didn't show up for his kid.
And it just cuts away.
Yeah.
It's over.
And there's no recompense there. David Spade doesn't do anything that gets the kid to earn his trust. He just earns his trust, realistically.
Yeah. Apart from that, there's really nothing. Like Nick Swardson plays a punching bag. This weird mystical Sandler thing where they introduce a character who just can't get hurt and they just throw them around like a rag doll, and that was very much Nick Swardson. To no entertainment value, really.
Yeah, we also have Tim Meadows playing a character and they keep trying to force this catchphrase on us.
What? Like, you're not creating any one-liners. This is not a quotable movie in the slightest.
And this movie has everyone in it and they try and make sure everyone has their moment, like Shaq, but it's just so overdone comparatively to Grown Ups 1, which was such a feel-good family movie that was so small. Yeah. The idea was small, and that's what we kept heralding in Grown Ups 1, was that they didn't try and do too much. The low stakes environment made it such a good watch. This movie was such weirdly high stakes, like with the big fight scene at the end.
So many characters given terrible moments to shine, like the dude who works at the ice cream store. At one point, he just throws something at his wife and knocks her out. I'm like, who's that for?
Yeah.
But yes, we are introduced to Taylor Lautner, who is yet again done dirty in a Sandler movie. They piss off the frat boys, so of course they have to have a big showdown at the party at the end. It's all f***ing World War Z.
So we are introduced to these frat boys that want to start this war, but then it also just gets forgotten about a lot, and then eventually just gets shoehorned back in right at the end. But it's definitely not enough to call it a plot.
No, like they just put like the Chris Rock thing at the start where he wants Sandler to throw a party. These little threads are introduced, but they don't weave together like a movie should make it feel like they do. It just brings it back to create some semblance of like different acts of this film.
I think it's really safe to say that Grown Ups 2 completely missed the point of why Grown Ups 1 was successful.
100%.
It was family-friendly fun times, good feelings, but still really sentimental, endearing, and relatable. This movie had no elements of relatability, whether it was the tire sequence just flying down the road and wasting our time as if you were watching that.
Grown Ups 1 had this really lovely semblance of all the characters learned something, like every single one of the mums and dads went on a journey. Here, there is a scene where they cut around and check in with all the families, but I'm like, this isn't deserved. No one has learned anything. They're all living the same life as they were at the start of the movie. The only thing really is when Sandler accepts that he's gonna have a new baby, and he's telling the baby that he's gonna love it no matter what. And it's just like, I don't think that was earned either. He just wanted to make his wife happy.
Another random plot sequence as well of Sandler just having another kid was like, okay, that wasn't really needed in there. It just made Sandler look like a jerk the whole film.
And the sexualization of the dance teacher is them just looking at Rob Schneider's daughter's ass again, except they're looking at this dance teacher on the school ballet. Oh, it's gross, bro.
And just so on the nose again. The one credit I'll give this movie is this really lovely sequence with Sandler and Cameron Boyce. Sandler's teaching Cameron Boyce how to kick a football. And I thought it was really sweet and it had so much potential to be a really nice, wholesome moment like we get in Grown Ups 1. But again, it's ruined by them feeling like they have to do something slapstick and stupid with Kevin James's daughter there on the sidelines. And it ruins a lovely moment, and then Sandler breaks his kid's leg as well. The movie had moments where it could be great, and then they just keep shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah. I wanted to have some fun and give it some points too. Like the Lonely Island come in and they wash Kevin James's car. But I'm just like, none of this is, it's so senseless that none of it can come out as funny. Even if there are some genuinely decent bits, I'm like, this whole movie is just slop, so nothing really protrudes out anymore.
20 years after Billy Madison was released and it was experimental goof-tacular, you'd think Sandler would know his voice better. But it's such a worse product than Billy Madison. Billy Madison's had some really quotable nuggets. This movie has nothing like that.
What? I'm happy to rate this if you are.
Me too, my friend. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. There was no moments that really grabbed me this movie. I hated watching it. I gave it a 2.
Wow. I also gave it a 2,
Yeah.
so cheers to that.
there, brother.
Agreeing at last. It really did feel like a cash grab
Yeah.
at the end of the day. They're like, oh my God, Grown Ups is such a huge movie, we've got to get on the sequel immediately. And it was also the second most successful Happy Madison movie, so it succeeded.
At what cost?
But at the expense of any quality that could have come out of it. It was so disappointing to watch. Being a recent Grown Ups fan, I thought I was gonna hate it when we rewatched it, but I had a good time.
Yeah.
But there was just no semblance of that in this film, unfortunately.
No, I mean, you know we're gonna get a third one because they're just such cash cows that if he needs some more money, he's gonna go for it. Which is a shame, Sam, man, if you're watching. Please make the third one great if you're gonna do it. Otherwise, don't bother.
Maybe they've spent the last 10 years writing it, bro. It's gonna be the best movie ever.
Joe, I don't want to talk about this garbage piece any further, so let's draw the next movie.
Let's go. In you go, son. Pick us
Please.
something better than Grown Ups 2, please.
Please, please, please. We are next watching The Waterboy.
Whoa! Back to the 90s, baby!
Holy smokes, this is an all-time great. I know this is my brother's favorite Sandman film.
Don't hype it too hard. I haven't seen it. That's crazy.
Holy dooly, well, my friends, that is the Sharehouse.
Thank you for watching. Go subscribe to our Patreon if you want to see behind the scenes of this shoot, plus all these extra bits we do. But most of all, make sure you tell someone you love them today.
Bye now.
Bye.